Hey everybody, Pastor Vern here with you for your daily update for October 13, 2020. It's a Tuesday in our pursuit of knowledge of the scriptures and those things that get us closer to God. We have been working on the Ten Commandments here lately. We're up to number 3. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. And as we get to that point, I wanted to lift up some other things to you is that we continue to prepare for church conference. Also, I'd ask that if you find value in these dailies, to please share them on your social media so that we can touch as many people as possible with our daily updates. We have gone through a lot of different subjects, and they're all available on the YouTube channel if there are those who would like to catch up on some of them. Also, this is we need to be supporting our ministry in of our churches. So if you have the opportunity to share some of your gifts, your talents with us, please let me know. We have some things that we need to do. Plus, of course, it takes a little bit of money to run the church, and so that's kind of an important thing too, to continue to support the church, so we can make all kinds of different things available. In fact, we're working on a project this week for Friends of Jesus to being as we don't meet in person now because of scenario with COVID, that we're going to be delivering ministry to our children of our communities. We're working on that process this week. So now we're going to go to one of the Ten Commandments that are often very, very misunderstood. I don't know how well I'm going to be able to explain this to you, but I'm going to take a shot. It's do not use the Lord's name in vain. And so often we see this used as not using the Lord's name as a curse, as a swear word, whatever you want to call it. And that's obviously part of it because it belittles God and it belittles your relationship to God to do that. I think sometimes that slips out on many of us, somewhat unintentionally. Sometimes it just gets away from us before we have a chance to be thoughtful about it. But the other part of that aspect is not using God's name in vain, is not to use it lightly or irreverently or take it as something that is frivolous. I get hung up on words sometimes. Frivolous, okay? And what does that mean? That means that if you want to swear an oath, on something that's you don't intend to carry through on, or something that is not really of any consequence, don't use the Lord's name in that. Don't use the Lord's name in something that that is doesn't have God doesn't have a place in that discussion as far as using His name as a promise or a threat or something else. It's not to be used lightly. In fact, in the Old Testament, especially when we get into the beginning of the Old Testament, we know that the Hebrew language, the name Yahweh, the name for God, had no vowels in it. The Hebrew language doesn't have vowels in it. They have vowel sounds, which is a little bit different. But one of the reasons that's important to note is not having vowels in that. Nobody even said the name of God. It was so holy and so righteous that you didn't use the name of God. Using Yahweh, it was unpronounceable, essentially. And so it was held in great respect, the name of God. And, the God has many names that we use, many descriptive names. All those fall into not using God's name in vain. It has a lot more to do than not using it in a derogatory sentence, but also has to do with not taking it lightly when you invoke the name of God. And one of the things that I think would probably be the big one is We say we will promise God things. We will say, by God, I will those things. You know, that's really not the appropriate way to do it, because so many of these things that we promise in that way we don't follow through on. And unless we are doing this as a solemn and righteous vow, let's leave the name of God out of it. Let's just be good and honorable people and take care of business, and we will glorify God that way rather than to try to invoke his name in places that it really has no business. All right. Well, you can chew on that a little bit, see what you think. Um, like I say, when you come to the Ten Commandments, there's a lot of interpretation, and folks are going to see things differently. And so that's my take on not taking the Lord's name in vain. Uh, Remember to take good care of yourselves, watch out for others, and to stay safe.